Right now, the night sky is alive. Billions of stars are scattered across a canvas of impossible darkness, each one a bonfire of fusion, a beacon of warmth and light in the cold expanse. We live in the universe's vibrant youth, its golden hour. The cosmos is filled with the raw material of creation, and new stars are being born even as we speak. We call this time the stelliferous era, the era of stars, and it feels permanent, eternal, but it's not. The universe doesn't end in a single catastrophe. It fades, cools, empties, and goes dark. Its grand finale isn't an explosion, but a slow, silent dimming that unfolds over timescales our minds can barely comprehend. The universe's last light isn't a flash, it's a fade. In the deep future, darkness doesn't arrive all at once. It accumulates. What if you could travel to the end of time, not to see a new beginning, but to witness the very last end? We're going on a journey, trillions of years into the future, to a cold and lonely universe. Here, a single final star is about to burn out, and a lone civilization is gathered to watch the last light in the universe flicker and die. Our journey begins not in the future, but in the final days of the present. For the next 100 billion years or so, the universe will continue much as it is. Stars will be born, live, and die. Galaxies will dance their slow, gravitational waltz. But beneath all this cosmic activity, an invisible clock is ticking down. The vast clouds of gas and dust that serve as stellar nurseries are finite. With each new star, the reserves dwindle. Gradually, the pace of star birth will slow. The most massive, brilliant blue stars, which burn through their fuel in mere millions of years, will be the first to vanish. Then, sun-like stars will begin to end their lives, puffing off their outer layers and leaving behind the cooling, dense corpses known as white dwarfs. For tens of billions of years, the universe will grow dimmer, its brilliant stellar tapestry thinning out thread by thread. As we fast forward, past the point where the Andromeda galaxy has merged with our own Milky Way, a profound change takes place. Current models suggest that in roughly 150 billion years, the accelerating expansion of the universe, driven by dark energy, will carry all other galaxy clusters beyond our cosmic horizon. From within our merged supergalaxy, which we might call Milkomeda, the rest of the universe will become invisible and unreachable. Future astronomers will look out into the void and see only the stars of their own local, gravitationally bound group, perhaps concluding they are all that has ever existed. Now, let's leap forward. We've arrived somewhere around 100 trillion years in the future. The great age of star birth is over. We've entered a new cosmological chapter, the degenerate era. The universe is now dominated by the long-lived and the dead. The sky is no longer a glittering diamond field, but a sparse, somber expanse, punctuated by the faint, crimson glow of the only stars that remain, red dwarfs. These are the universe's ultimate survivalists, sipping their hydrogen fuel so slowly they can shine for trillions of years. They are the embers of the stelliferous era, casting a dim, perpetual twilight across the cosmos. But all other stellar bodies are now just remnants. White dwarfs, dense spheres of matter, glow with leftover heat before slowly fading to become inert black dwarfs. Neutron stars, the crushed cores of massive stars, spin in the darkness. And black holes, the ultimate victors of gravity, silently gobble up whatever matter strays too close. It's in this strange, dim future that we find our lone civilization. They aren't human, not as we'd recognize ourselves. They are beings of almost unimaginable antiquity, the distant descendants of a species that perhaps looked like us, now evolved over eons to survive in a universe that has forgotten how to shine. Their world isn't a planet orbiting a star. To live so close to even a dim red dwarf would be a wasteful expense of energy. Instead, they might exist in vast, engineered habitats, orbiting the remnants of their long-dead home star. They are masters of energy conservation, a skill born of absolute necessity. How do they do it? Perhaps they harvest the faint radiation from cooling white dwarfs or draw power from the rotational energy of a spinning black hole. Their culture is one of patience and memory. They are cosmic archivists, the keepers of the history of a universe that is no longer visible. Their science is archaeology, their astronomy, a study of ghosts. For this civilization, the concept of a bright, sunlit sky is a myth, a legend passed down through billions of generations. Their reality is the encroaching cold and the ever-present dark. And they know, with a certainty passed down from ancient physics, that even this long twilight must eventually end. The red dwarfs, the final stellar holdouts, are running out of time. We now stand at the precipice. 1 trillion years have passed. The universe is a profoundly different place. Most red dwarf stars have finally exhausted their fuel, one by one, fading into darkness like dying embers. Their passing hasn't been violent. Unlike larger stars, they don't explode. They simply run out of hydrogen, contract, and slowly cool into white dwarfs, joining the growing graveyard of stellar corpses. But in this hypothetical future, it's thought that one light might remain. Somewhere in the cold, dark expanse of the Milky Way galaxy, a single, ancient red dwarf has defied the odds. It is, for all intents and purposes, the very last star. For trillions of years it has burned, a lonely beacon in an emptying sky. For the lone civilization that has watched its sky go dark, this star is everything. It's the last vestige of the universe that was the final, living connection to the bright and violent era of creation. Now, its time has come. The civilization gathers. Not in a single place, they are likely a diffuse, distributed consciousness, but their attention focuses as one. Their sensors, their minds, their very being are turned toward this final point of light. It's a moment of ceremony, of reverence, of profound sorrow. This isn't just the death of a star. It is the end of an era that has defined the universe for its entire existence. We watch with them as the star's fusion engine begins to sputter. Its light, already a dim red, wavers, sometimes brightening slightly in a false glimmer of hope, before dimming again. The civilization observes every fluctuation, recording the final heartbeats of the cosmos's last fire. Then, it happens. The flickering slows. The final reserves of usable hydrogen fuel are gone. The outward pressure of fusion that held gravity at bay for 1 trillion years finally gives out. The star contracts under its own weight. Its surface cools, and its crimson glow fades, inexorably, to black. With the last star extinguished, the universe enters its next and penultimate phase, the black hole era. For a length of time so vast it makes the life of the last star seem like a fleeting moment, the cosmos will be ruled by gravity's ultimate expression. The universe is now populated only by stellar remnants, black dwarfs, neutron stars, and scattered planets and the black holes that slowly, methodically pull them in. Galaxies as we know them dissolve, their components either flung into intergalactic space or consumed by the supermassive black holes at their cores. What of our civilization? Their struggle for survival becomes almost unimaginable. Having lost their last external energy source, they must turn inward. Perhaps they've mastered the art of extracting energy from the slow decay of matter itself, a hypothetical process known as proton decay. Or, maybe, they have become a civilization of pure thought, running their consciousness on ever slower computers to conserve every last joule of energy experiencing subjective eons while the universe outside remains frozen. But even black holes aren't eternal. As Stephen Hawking first theorized, black holes leak a faint thermal energy known as Hawking radiation. This process is infinitesimally slow. A solar mass black hole might take around 1067 years to evaporate. The supermassive black holes at the centers of galaxies could last for a staggering 100 years, a number known as a googol. As they evaporate, they radiate their mass away as a faint trickle of particles. In their final moments, as they shrink to microscopic size, the process accelerates, culminating in a final flash of high-energy gamma rays. In the utter darkness of the black hole era, these final flashes will be the only light the universe will ever see again. One by one, from the smallest to the largest, the black holes will disappear. After the last black hole has evaporated, the universe enters its final theorized state, heat death. This is the dark era. The cosmos is now a near-perfect vacuum, filled only with a diffuse cooling sea of photons, neutrinos, and other stray elementary particles. With no processes left to mark its passage, time itself almost ceases to have meaning. Entropy has reached its maximum. The universe is a cold, featureless, and quiet void. All the stories have been told. All the light has been extinguished. The show is over. And then, we're back. We pull back from the cold, empty void of the far future, back through the eons of evaporating black holes, past the vigil for the last dying star, beyond the long twilight of the red dwarfs, all the way back to now. To our now. We're back in the Stelliferous era. We're back in a universe that is still young, vibrant, and filled with light. That end is incomprehensibly, unimaginably far away. The story of the cosmos is still being written, and we are, for a fleeting, miraculous moment, alive to witness it. The darkness we journeyed to is a reminder of how precious this light truly is. The universe isn't a static backdrop. It's a dynamic, evolving entity, and we are living through its most glorious phase. The great cosmic show is still on. The lights are still bright, and the sky is full of wonders. So, look up. Appreciate the stars. For while their light may seem eternal, we know that one day, they too will fade. And in knowing the story of the last light, we can better appreciate the brilliance of the first.